Shabbat Shalom. We will say a few words about our parasha, Parashat Bechukotay, the last parasha of the book of Vayikra, Leviticus, in the third book in the Torah. Our parasha famously known about the curses that there is in our parasha. So there is two times in the Torah that we have the curses. What is curses? It's the things that will happen if the Jewish people will not follow the ways of Torah. So the curses are kind of the bad side of education. That we all know that education have two sides. Sometimes need to be kind and sometimes need to be harsh. If you truly love your child, you will not give him everything that he desiring immediately. You will not give him the knife when he's 2 years old. So you need to be sometimes harsh. This week we will talk about the blessings that coming before the curses. So one of the blessings is the blessings of good life, health and good fruits and vegetables and everything. It's few blessings, that most of the blessings actually talking about material life. And it's very interesting. The blessings in the Torah are materials, something that related to daily lives, to easy lives. And why? Why would the Torah tell us only the physical, material blessings, that they are very important? But we all know that there is also spiritual blessings. There is the reward. When we're talking about the reward of the work of God, to be a good Jew, you need to have you will have a reward. The reward is not only here in this world. This world, it's simple reward. It's not the truly reward. The true reward would be to the soul in heaven. So and there would be a spiritual reward. Actually, the Jewish believe fighting against understand of other religions, that paradise and heaven, that trying to explain the rewards of heaven in words of material life, as Islamic often do, and also other religions that explaining the rewards of heaven in examples or things that are small and simple and sometimes stupid things, that giving pleasure to the body. And the soul have a different language totally. It doesn't need our simple reward of pleasure to the body. So the spiritual reward is very high, very, very special. Why the Torah talking only about physical reward? And this question is more great actually also about the time of the Mashiach, the time of redemption, the time of Geula, how it's called. So in the end of days, what will be the reward? Most of the talking in our sages is about good fruits, calm life, health, peace between people, between nations, between animals. Simple material reward. And the question is why? We know that in the time of the Mashiach, in the time of redemption, the whole world will be one. Spiritual side of everything would be revealed totally, meaning we would see in everything the true purpose, the true idea that's standing behind everything in our world. And this would be the greatest reward. This is the reason for peace. So why basically we're talking about the physical reward? So I already start to say the answer, the final answer, but we will start with few levels of the answer. First answer about our parasha and also about the time of the Mashiach, going according to the Rambam, that he explaining basically that all this reward is a vessel, meaning We're living in a world that it's hard to live a good life. And when it's hard to live a good life, it's hard to live a religious life. And it's hard to be a good Jew and especially a holy Jew because your mind is occupied and your peace of mind is also missing. That's why the reward is to have a calm life. If you're trying to be a good Jew and you're trying to be good, the reward is to be able to achieve more and more in spiritual life, to have good health and good and health for family, and that your mind will not be so occupied with fruits and vegetables and money. This is the reward because then you can achieve more and more in spiritual life. So this is basically the approach of the Rambam regarding many things. Also, in some way, regarding to the other side, what is um, the punishment? Sometimes the punishment sometimes is to be not able to get out of the circle of sins. A person getting inside sin and then is going more and more and more deep in his life into this circle, and he cannot have the peace of mind to go out of that circle. So basically this is the approach of the Rambam, that it's not, the reward is to be able to achieve more and more in peace of mind. So this is one explanation, but it's only according to the Rambam's approach. And it's basically, of course, not the simplest explanation that this is the reward you will do and you will get. So there is other approach that this is actually the reward, but this is not all the reward. That why the Torah talking about this reward, because the Torah talking about most of the people, and most of the people you would tell them, if you will do this and that, your soul will be very, very much in pleasure and you will achieve spirituality and godliness in your life. It will not talk to them, it will not speak to them, or it will speak to them but not in first glance. The Torah talking about most of the people in most of the situation of their lives, that they need to hear something that's speaking to them. That's why God said, what is blessing? Blessing is to have a good life. And the same thing, our sage is talking about the time of the redemption. What will be the blessing in the time of the redemption? To have a good life. Very big fruits, as the sage is describing, that fruits will be enormously big and things like that. Now, this is also a good explanation, but not enough, again, because the Torah speaking to all. The Torah speaking to all of the Jews and all of the situation. We cannot say that this is the only things that the Torah said because this is the common thing. No, the Torah speaking to all kinds of Jews, all kinds of people, also holy people, that their way of life is not to have more fruits and more calm life. They need to achieve something more spirituality. And actually every Jew wants some time to achieve more in spirituality, even though sometimes he doesn't know to say it, he doesn't know to express it, he doesn't know where to look. But if the Torah speaking to all, must be there something connected to this enormous and amazing reward in spiritual life. Also, when we're talking about the blessings that the Torah said in our Parasha, and also when we're talking about the time of the redemption, of course. So, to understand this concept, we need to introduce the idea that we started before about what is actually the spiritual reward and what is actually the true spiritual reward. So the spiritual reward is what is paradise according to Judaism? What is the reward of the time of the redemption? And what is actually the relationship between the soul and God? So this is actually the point. The point is that we have the body and we have the soul. The body connected to the ground, to the sand. The body was created from the ground, from earth. And the soul connected to heaven. They are two opposites that connecting together. The body pulling to earth, the soul pulling constantly to heaven. And this being connected by God for a purpose. Why? Because God doesn't need souls that disconnected from body. They will be connected to God constantly. This is true. But it's not something new. The soul connected to God is something simple. Soul, it's a creation that have God inside it. And that's why it's constantly want to feel more God, want to understand more God, want to feel more close to God. And there is many ways to feel close to God. By understanding, by feeling, by understanding more deep, more wide, more details. By loving, by respecting. As the spiritual and mystics of Torah, and especially Hasidut, explain in length. The body pulling to this world. Why? Because the body is connected to this world. What's the body need? More pleasure, more calm life, more simple life, more selfish in some way. So this is two opposites that are connected. And why they are connected? Because God wants the soul to influence the body. And then when the soul achieving what it achieves through the body, meaning being more connected to God with the body, with the body's energy, with the body's desire, and everything that the body do is connected to God, and helping the soul to be more connected to God. How? When we using the physical energy and the physical world to being more connected to God. By everything that we do, we are trying to connect more to God, meaning we're helping the soul to be more connected to God. By eating, by daily lives, going to work, to have money, to live a good life, to give more tzedakah, and to learn more Torah, and to do more mitzvot. So we're using the body's abilities that the soul doesn't have, because the soul is spiritual. So we're using the body's abilities to be more connected to God. We're basically achieving the whole idea of this connection of the soul and the body. Now, when we're doing it in a deeper way, as deeper as you can, as passionate as you can, as you're revealing more and more the soul inside your body, you're basically connecting more and more the world to God. When you're feeling a strong love to God coming from the soul, and from that love you influence the world, to give a good example of God-fearing person, and doing the mitzvot with the physical world, you're basically connecting more and more parts of the world, of the physical world, to God. So what is the true reward after the end of it? After you're doing all the mitzvot properly and doing your job of connecting spirituality and physicality strong as proper, what is the true reward? The true reward is that you have a good life in the physical world. You manage to connect spirituality and physicality so much as they are connected so strong, and the spirituality influence the physicality, and it changing them to be good, to reveal the purpose. And this is actually the point of redemption, and this is the point of the blessings that we have in our parasha, that you're able to connect spirituality and physicality so much that you see the spirituality's blessings in the physicality. Shabbat Shalom, and let's have good news in all that work. Shabbat Shalom.